Gen Z has a huge identity crisis and it's causing a lot of us to feel unfulfilled with life. Just a quick reminder to like the video before we get started, it really helps out, and yeah, let's get into it. So I saw some polls recently that kind of painted a gloomy picture for Gen Z's outlook on the world. Apparently about half of us are lonely, depressed, and just overall are lacking purpose. And honestly, I've been feeling those things myself ever since I moved away from my home state. It's almost like I just don't know what my identity is anymore now that I've moved away from all my friends and my family and my old job as a kickboxing instructor. What am I known for? I don't know. And now with all of this free time that I have, I find my internet usage has like quadrupled, and I have no space in my life to establish an identity and fulfill my purpose. So in order to fix this, we need to kind of talk about what it means to actually have an identity. Your identity is something that you build through the habits and the actions that you take every single day. It's based around the choices that we make in every single little moment when we're presented with, do I want to do this or do I want to do this? For example, are you the type of person who gets up at 5 a.m. right when their alarm goes off, or do you snooze it a couple times and then fall back into a deep sleep until 11 a.m.? Or when you have nothing else pressing that you need to do at the moment, do you get on your phone and scroll through Instagram or just watch some Netflix for 6 hours? Or do you get up, go on a walk, learn something new, meditate? What do you do in those moments? And you will usually favor one side of the spectrum over the other when it comes to the choices that you make in your everyday life. So if you're that person that gets up right at the sound of their alarm at 5 a.m., then you're probably the same person who works out every day, who eats healthy foods that fuels their body, or you actually do go on those walks instead of retreating into your cell phone. So when you start making those decisions that are more on this side of the spectrum than this side of the spectrum, that becomes your new identity. People start to know you for making these types of decisions and these types of actions. They'll say, oh, Jay's the type of person who gets up early. Jay always works out. Jay's healthy. Jay doesn't really drink that much. But what's even better is in your own head, you start to know yourself as that person, and it actually drives your future actions in that same general direction. So now when you're presented with the options on this side of the spectrum, you're like, wait, no, my identity's over here. I don't do those things. No, I don't sleep in. I get up early and I like to get my work done early in the morning so I have the rest of my day. Or I like to eat these specific types of healthy foods because they make my body feel good. So no thanks. I don't want any of your M&Ms or your Skittles. I'm good. So now that we understand what it means to have an identity, we need to talk about how we can actually create one for ourselves. So there's 3 steps to doing this. And number 1 is creating more space in your life for boredom, which eventually leads to more thought. You need to separate yourself from the idea of avoiding boredom because you're not allowing yourself the space to bring that identity out of you. Constantly stimulating your mind distracts you from actually figuring out who you are. And so that second step is going to be an exercise. I want you to close your eyes. All right, so now that your eyes are closed, I want you to visualize who that person is that you want to be. What does their life look like? What are their habits? How do they live? How do they interact with people? Do they get up early or do they sleep in? Do they eat healthy or do they go out drinking every weekend? Do they speak to strangers as they walk past or do they look down into their phones and act like they don't exist? And most importantly, what do they care about? What do you care about? Okay, you can open your eyes. But for step number 3, you need to go ahead and decide that you're going to make the choices every single day that the new version of you, the new identity that you've just created for yourself, you need to stick to it and make those decisions every single time you're presented with a choice. And over time, through these new choices, you will have built an identity for yourself that you can actually be proud of. Through this identity, you'll find purpose, and through your purpose, you will be fulfilled. And that's pretty much it. So if you enjoy the video, got any value out of it, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell just so you don't miss any of the next uploads. I'll see you next week, but for now, I'm out.